Some people spend thousands on GPUs, some people spend tens of thousands on PC setups, ultra-wide monitors, keyboards, mice, and then all hear it from a quite muddy gaming headset. And today is a day that it can change. This is the DT900 Pro X by Beyerdynamics. Thanks to Newegg for sending this out. And apparently these are the headphones that make people stop buying several gaming headsets entirely. Now, we're going to be honest, because I've heard people really hype this up over the years. A lot of amazing claims, such as the soundstage is awesome, that you hear details that you've never heard before. Most gaming headsets, as you know, don't truly match the price tag. Today, we're going to put that to the test. And as a creator, gamer, editor, and somebody who consistently wears headphones for hours, I want to know if this actually deserves the hype. Or is this just going to be another audiophile rabbit hole? Now, pulling these out has a nice weight to it. They feel like headphones that should be about $300. And man, these feel pretty serious. I love how they feel, like so comfortable. You know, like when you lay on a pillow and it just feels like you just want to keep laying on the pillow because it just feels that comfortable. That's kind of how these ear cups pretty much feel. They feel very comfortable to the touch, have these wonderful velour pads, beautiful metal frame, and the cable, which is important, is detachable. Now, these aren't your typical gaming headsets to where they have a ton of RGBs on there because honestly, you don't need them for a headset. It doesn't contain fake 7.1 surround sound, just pure audio. And honestly, this already tells me this is made for truly competitive players. These are open back studio headphones designed for mixing, gaming, editing, and most importantly, critical listening. Before anybody asks, no, these are not bass head headphones. No, these are not consumer tunes. And no, these are not meant to take outside to the public for everyone to hear your music. But if you care about hearing accurately, this might be in the mix for you. First thing that stood out to me is the build quality. I mean, just take a look at how wonderful this headset is. It just screams perfection. This doesn't feel like cheap plastic. It doesn't feel like something you would get off of Alibaba. This is actual studio gear. You get the velour ear pads, spring steel headband, detachable cable, replaceable components, and a extremely solid construction. And honestly, this is key when you spend that type of money. The velour pads are insanely comfortable for long sessions. Do I look good? Now I'm talking about editing for hours, gaming for hours, listening sessions late at night. These don't feel suffocating. They don't feel like they want to rip your head off. Now I can certainly tell you one of the biggest advantages when it comes to open back headphones. Your ears could actually breathe. If you've never used open back headphones before, they will leak sound. This is not noise canceling. They are not a closed headset. People around you will hear your audio and hear your full surroundings. So if you have a loud AC, roommates, background noise, screaming family members, yeah, you're going to hear it all. But the trade-off is the soundstage. And this is where the DT900 Pro X is special. For gaming, the positional audio is insanely clean. You can hear footsteps, distances, environmental details, directional awareness. Everything feels separated properly, instead of mashing together like most gaming headsets. The soundstage feels wide, which makes the game feel much more immersive. Now I will say this, if you're expecting exaggerated expectations and boosted bass, you might initially think that these are boring. But the reality is, these are insanely accurate. Once your ears adjust, a lot of the gaming headsets that you usually wear will start to sound muffled, muddy, and not so accurate. This is where the options are going to split. The DT900 Pro X has more of a neutral tuning. So instead of boosted bass, overly sharp highs, or even fake excitement, you get clarity. Is this love in the air? You'll hear the layering instruments, vocals, and the textures, the micro details. The mids are honestly fantastic. Vocals sound natural, guitars sound detailed, podcast sounds clean. But the bass heads, you may want more of something that has a low end slant. But this is just the reality of open back headphones. One thing that I certainly do appreciate here, Beyerdynamic toned down, the infamous Beyer peak. Older Beyer headphones can get very sharp in treble. The DT900 Pro X is still very detailed. It has this bright sound, but it's way less piercing. Personally, I think the balance is just right. You still get the details in your ears feeling slabbed in long sessions. Now, this is one of the biggest advantages when it comes to these headphones. The 48 ohm Stellar 45 drive are surprisingly easy to drive. You could plug this directly into motherboard, audio interfaces, laptops, and even your phone if you choose to. You can even put it into your ROG Xbox Ally X, and they still sound phenomenal. Now, obviously, a good DAC or amp certainly does help, but unlike older, high impedance studio headphones, these don't require one to sound usable. That alone makes it more approachable for normal people. This is where I believe it shines the most. For creators, these are amazing. Editing videos become easier because you can hear everything. Add audio cuts, background hiss, compression artifacts, and even overprocessed vocals. These expose all of it. And if you're mixing audio, that neutral presentation becomes extremely valuable. Because if your headphones are heavily colored, your final mix usually ends up sounding weird somewhere else. I genuinely think comfort is one of the strongest parts of these headphones. The clamp force felt firm initially, but after some use, they will become more comfortable. And because that they're open back, heat buildup is much more lower compared to closed gaming headsets. That can increase the comfortability, especially during gaming sessions, and definitely one of the keys when it comes to looking at headphones and easily overlooked, especially if you stream, edit, game long hours, and wear glasses. This could certainly be it. Now, these are obviously not perfect. There are some things that I do notice about the headset, that there is no isolation because everybody hears your audio. It's open back, we know this, but the bass isn't massive. If you enjoy huge cinematic bass, these may feel a bit lean. And there's also no microphone that does come attached with this headset. How can it be a gaming headset without a microphone? You'll need a standalone mic. It's also not portable because you're not gonna obviously wear something like this to the gym. You're not gonna travel with these. You're obviously not planning to walk around your local stores with a headset like this. Well, at least I hope not. The DT900 Pro X, compared to usual gaming headsets, this is where it certainly does get interesting. Most gaming headsets focus on the fake 7.1 surround sound. They have the exaggerated bass, they have RGBs that you don't necessarily need on a headset. And of course, the software gimmicks, which doesn't make sense. You don't need software for headphones. The DT900 Pro X focuses on audio quality. And once you experience that, it's truly hard to go backwards. Especially for competitive gamers, streamers, editors, music listeners. The Beyerdynamics DT900 Pro X is a product that slowly wins you over. At first, you might not instantly understand the hype, but after a few days, you start noticing the details in everything. Games feel cleaner, music feels more natural, editing just becomes smooth. And then the audio quality, you start to realize how truly important that is. Once you put back on those gaming headsets, which that's what you once called, they're not going to sound like gaming headsets. They're gonna sound artificial. But if you want huge bass, isolation, and portability, obviously don't get something like the Beyerdynamics DT900 Pro X. But if you want clarity, comfort, soundstage accuracy, long session comforts, and creator-focused audio, or even being a producer, these are seriously hard to beat for the price. And honestly, this might be one of those underrated upgrades that you can make with your setup that has truly nothing to do with FPS. Now, I gotta give this headset an 8 out of 10. It's truly excellent for what it is, especially for $300. Of course, there's some additional features that you would like on this headset, but that is the reason why I give it an 8 out of 10. If you're interested in getting the DT900 Pro X, make sure you check down the link down in the description box right down below. Bam, guys, let me know what you think down in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Chris Mizo, signing out. Seems like my PC signed out before I did.